2010, the Waterloo Regional Police Service observed a phenomenon occurring within the high schools of our community. At this time, we noticed that several youths were experiencing cardiac-related symptoms after smoking marijuana. We started an intensive media campaign using traditional media outlets to get the message out that marijuana does pose risks to the youth. A short time later, we discovered that many of the youth of our community were not aware of the issue, hadn't seen the reports, hadn't read the newspapers, and were completely oblivious to the fact that we had undertaken such an intensive media campaign to get the message out of the hazards of this drug. At that point, we recognized that we needed a more efficient way of communicating drug information to the youth of the community and a new way to deliver it. And with that, we created the It's Your Call contest, where we would want the participants to develop our media strategy for us, to develop a message, an anti-drug message that resonates with the youth of the community.
When we first launched the strategy, we thought just by having a Facebook account, having a Twitter account, having social media accounts, the kids would connect to it, they would relate to it, they would start looking at the contest and entering it. We were disappointed. We actually learned that we needed to go out there and we needed to promote the contest a little bit better.
We discovered that at some point we probably needed a spokesperson for it. We found a young 18-year-old rising local star named Nate Hall. He already had a song on the radio. He was trying to break into the music business. So we met with him, and he agreed to partner with us to be our spokesperson.
In the past, we've gone to the local newspapers and we've gone to the local news and we've delivered messages. But if you think back and you remember when you were a young person, you probably weren't watching the local news and you might not have been reading the local newspaper. Knowing that, we needed a new way to connect to kids. We know that social media is driving a lot of kids today. There's different ways that they can reach each other and stay connected. Many kids nowadays have personal phones that have social media on them. And that's what this contest was intended to do, connect with kids in a new way. This is the first school we actually came to, Eastwood Collegiate in Kitchener. We came here and Nate set up in the foyer and he started playing. And as he started playing, kids started listening and they were connecting to Nate and he started talking about the contest. What we were also doing is we were going out and we were distributing flyers. We were handing them out to the kids. We were talking about the contest, promoting it. We were creating buzz. It actually started building from there. As we kept going on to more schools and more schools, some would have heard about it and they would already be expecting us. In some cases, we would go during the lunch hours and Nate would set up on this stage and he'd start playing and kids would be wondering what's going on, and an officer would come up or Nate would start talking about this contest that the police have initiated and kids started entering, and we found that that was the way to connect with them. At one point, I actually got up on stage and I took a bit of a chance and I explained what the contest was about, but I further stated that the statistics here in our region are that the majority of kids don't do drugs. There are more kids that don't do drugs than do drugs. I wasn't sure if I would get booed or applauded, and you know what? A bunch of kids started clapping. We knew we had the support. Many kids are not into drugs. We just need to give it an opportunity for those kids to let their peers know that it's okay not to do drugs.
So one of the entrants approached me and told me that she'd entered because she really wanted to win one of the cool prizes, but as she learned more about the contest, it was her own self-discovery about living drug-free and her own motivation to continue along that path.
Here, ooh-wee, I can breathe, no drug dependency.
Another advantage of using this style of platform is we can measure it. We can go in and see how many kids have seen and viewed different web pages. We can look and see how much time they spent on individual pages. Knowing what pages they're looking at will give us an idea of where to put important messages. We learned from this contest that 1,600 youth connected to the web page. 1,600 kids, that's the equivalent of one entire high school. Imagine being able to reach one entire high school on any given topic.